The year 2017 revealed the horrors of human trafficking. The entire world woke up to the shock of slave trade in Libya, and Nigeria mourned the death of 26 trafficked young girls, while many were rescued and repatriated. It was also a very busy but yet exciting year at the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons. I am Emmanuel Okeke. This is NAPTIP on the Move. Thank you for joining us. Our package today will bring you highlights of the agency's activities aimed at combating human trafficking in the past year, and of course, the projections for the year. Don't go away.
A new era in the history of NAPTIP began in the year 2017 with the appointment of Dame Julie Okadonle at the helm of affairs of the agency. Dame Julie Okadonle hit the ground running with sweeping reforms to reposition the agency as the #1 in the fight against trafficking in persons. She first embarked on a tour of all NAPTIP formations for first-hand assessment of the agency's operations and structures. Her style of leadership includes effective partnership with all relevant stakeholders. In her own words, it's a fight for all of government and all of society. With this guiding principle, she embarked on extensive advocacy visits to traditional rulers and religious leaders in order to impact the grassroots.
Your Majesty, sir, will call on traditional institutions to join in this fight so that, we can stand together in this fight. And I know, sir, that when the Totif speaks, everyone listens. So, sir, when the Totif speaks to mothers and fathers and tells them of the dangers of trafficking and the issues of, trafficking in organs, and you speak to them to tell them not to give up their children so easily to strangers to look after, because that is how it starts. They come, with nice promises, we'll take care of your child, we'll send your child to school. When it sounds too good to be true, then it's too good to be true. You don't need to take someone's child to help the child. You can help the child right in the mother and father's homes. So, sir, these are the kind of things that you need to start to tell your subjects so that they will be more careful. We're going from community to community so that the traditional institutions can help us to protect the lives and properties of those that belong to their community.
Let me welcome this very distinguished delegation, NAPTIP, under the leadership of the DG herself. I want to use this opportunity to also congratulate you on your very well-deserved appointment. It's an appointment that is a call to service. I believe it's inhuman to use human beings as item of trade for purposes of financial gains. So I want to assure you, as a traditional council, we will support you in the campaign to ensure that people get fully aware of the dangers.
With the increased rate of internal and external trafficking causing all states to become endemic, she paid courtesy visits to some governors.
Let me recognize our sister and our daughter, and the Director General of NAPTIP, and the members of our entourage. This is something that all of us must be on board. When I say all of us, I don't just mean levels of government, don't just mean governmental leaders. I mean leaders at all levels. Community leaders, sensitized people, parents, industry leaders, everybody has to be on board.
Human trafficking in Nigeria should not be left for NAPTIP alone. Rather, it calls for the sustained cooperation and commitment of all Nigerians, as well as relevant government and non-government agencies, especially in the area of capacity building and intelligence sharing. In this wise, I want to assure you of the continued assistance, support and partnership of the Enugu State Government towards the successful and satisfactory discharge of this responsibility, especially within the confines of the state.
To secure better budgetary allocation to address the funding challenge, she visited the Minister of Budget and National Planning, as well as members of the National Assembly.
As the focal agency really responsible for elimination the menace of human trafficking, I think your visit is timely, and I would not have come at a better time. The issue of migration and of course the issue of trafficking in persons. This has become a very big issue in the world today, and also for us here in the National Assembly and the 8th Senate, it's a priority. And as such, it is important for us to listen, hear from you. One feels very encouraged with the enthusiasm which you have spoken this afternoon. We can see a high level of frustration, but the good part is that we see people who are committed and to work, giving the necessary tools and resources to do that. This is something we must face head on, and we must play a role. And we cannot play a role if we do not support the agency to do that.
Dame Julie Oka-Donley also strengthened the agency's partnership with development partners and embassies, such as the International Organization for Migration, International Center for Migration Policy Development, United States Embassy, United Kingdom, European Union, the Netherlands, Italian and German embassies, amongst other embassies.
What I see is there's going to be a great relationship between the United Kingdom and Nigeria, and particularly with NAPTIP. I see that under the Director General's leadership, there is a real desire to address human trafficking. I think that the idea of supporting victims more collaboratively so that we can actually give them the support they need and look for opportunities for them so they've got long-term reintegration is essential. But then also we need to pursue those who commit these crimes so that we can show that this crime doesn't pay, so that they will be punished if they trade in human beings. So I think that this relationship is something that is going to really develop over the coming years, so that we do actually start to show that this is a crime that nobody should participate in. I think we're seeing NAPTIP have very clear leadership, and what I do like about it is that clear leadership about supporting victims and pursuing criminals, getting right to the hub of the matter.
I have to say I'm quite impressed with what they are doing. This is the apex organization for combating trafficking in human person, and we have seen a lot of initiative, a lot of engagement, and we are grateful for that. And I have to say, I have to praise the cooperation we do have with NAPTIP and its leadership, particularly the Director General.
She also featured on many international anti-trafficking forums. Locally, she strengthened collaboration with sister agencies, other government bodies and non-governmental organizations, including the Nigeria Immigration Service, Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, National Communications Commission, National Directorate of Employment, Real Women Foundation, network of civil society organization against child trafficking and child labor, Women Trafficking and Child Labor Eradication Foundation, amongst others.
One of the joy and beauty of interagency cooperation is the fact that it's easier for everybody. The perpetrators are arrested and the victims are rescued properly in a well-coordinated manner. For example, the DIA carried out an operation in Cameroon, and they were able to rescue a deaf and dumb girl. They brought her to NAPTIP immediately. They handed her over to NAPTIP. We took care of her, and we had a ceremony, a handing over ceremony. We handed her over to her family and to the Plateau State government. It was awesome. You know, the Plateau State government was on hand. They sent a huge delegation to take back this girl, who they've promised to send to school, all expenses paid to any level whatsoever. I mean, this is what we want to see happening. And of course, with all the governors must take charge of their indigents from state to state. If they all do what the Plateau State governor did, trust me, I mean, life will be easier for everybody.
Realizing the absence of the organized private sector and notable Nigerians in the fight against trafficking, she moved to pull in their weight to quash the trend. Another first was the temporary deployment of NAPTIP officers at Heathrow and Gatwick airports in the United Kingdom to help identify trafficked victims. Victims Support Fund, which is a coalition of the agency, the United States and United Kingdom embassies, as well as partners from the organized private sector, was initiated to raise funds for rehabilitation of trafficked victims. In line with curbing corruption within the agency and ensuring staff are not influenced by powerful traffickers, she instituted the AntiCorruption Reforms Unit and the NAPTIP Rapid Response Squad for 24-hour response to reported cases. The agency also held the first meeting with tour operators and travel agents to implore them to cease the practice of aiding and abetting traffickers. The Human Trafficking Awareness Week kicked off with a walk. Stakeholders meeting, and 22nd annual lecture on the prevention of trafficking and other activities. Massive awareness campaign is pivotal in the prevention of trafficking in persons. In order to achieve this, Dame Julie Okadonle collaborated with many media houses, including the Nigerian Television Authority, Galaxy Television, Channels Television, Africa Independent Television, and countless radio stations. She also featured on the CNN Freedom Project, hosted by Richard Quest. To further spread the message, she initiated a 30-minute weekly television program, NAPTIP On the Move, amongst many anti-trafficking jingles. Considering that most trafficked victims are youth who are used to the social media platforms, Dame Julie Okadonle organized a meeting with social media micro-influencers to get their buy-in in the prevention of trafficking.
Stop human trafficking!
The children were not left out, as NAPTIP organized awareness events in order to catch them young. NAPTIP also joined hands with wife of the President, Her Excellency Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, to declare war on all forms of abuse. As the year wound up, an awards ceremony to appreciate past Directors General, valuable stakeholders and hard-working staff was held at the agency's headquarters in Abuja.
In the last few years, NAPTIP identified partnership as a strategic tool for growth and organizational development. Adequate engagement of this tool entails the active participation of two or more like-minded entities who share a common goal, aspiration, and vision. On this note, I especially commend the collaborative efforts of WordClef, UNODC, ICMPD, IOM, EU, the NIS, the media, Next to None, Devatop Center for African Development, among others, in the pursuit of the collective goal of combating trafficking in persons in Nigeria. The embassies of the Netherlands, the US, Spain, Italy, Switzerland, Finland, Germany, and the British High Commission have also been of immense support to the agency. You will agree that every balanced relationship thrives on the principle of reciprocity. NAPTIP has drawn so much strength from these organizations and therefore crave for an avenue to show appreciation. The pioneer DG, the big mommy in the house, Mrs. Carol Ndakuba, OON, in recognition of your meritorious and selfless service, not just to NAPTIP, but to humanity and to Nigeria. Thank you, ma'am. Now, this is in recognition of your hard work and selfless work while in office as the Executive Secretary of the agency. Congratulations, sir.
The Ambassador to Finland, High Excellency, on behalf of NAPTIP, I would like to present this to you in recognition of your giant strides and drive towards the fight against human trafficking and one of our greatest allies. Congratulations. The EU representative, in recognition of your giant strides and drive towards the fight against human trafficking, and as one of our biggest partners, I want to present this to you on behalf of NAPTIP. Thank you very much. On behalf of NAPTIP, I would like to present to you the Media Partners Award in recognition of your giant strides and drive towards the fight against human trafficking.
The last, but in no means the least. This is Award of Excellence presented to Dame Julie Okadonli in recognition of your outstanding innovation brought to the agency within the short period of your assumption. Thank you very much.
Dame Julie Okadonli shed more light on some of the gains of 2017.
2017 was a very hectic year in NAPTIP. Hectic in the sense that we had a lot more trafficking cases that were being reported, and so there was a lot of investigations, there were lots of interceptions, there were lots of arrests, there were lots of prosecution. You know, it was a very busy year for us here in NAPTIP and for my officers who worked really, really hard. 2017, I would say, was also good and bad. Bad in the sense that we're now awakened, you know, by a rude shock of Nigerians or migrants, not just Nigerians, you know, being sold into slavery. But because of this new trend, you know, going on in Libya and the rest of the world, the government now realized how important it is for an agency like NAPTIP to be well funded. 2017 was also a very good year in the sense that we had a lot of joint operations with our development partners. We had a joint operation with the National Crime Agency and the police force in London, where NAPTIP officers were able to jointly operate at the Heathrow and Gatwick airports, you know, with the NCA officers and the border police force. It was such an awesome exercise and experience for my officers. They were there for like a week, and you know, they learned a lot. They shared experiences and they learned a lot from each other, and we hope to see more of that happening this year, you know. And we also had a joint operation as well with the Spanish police as well in Spain, and we are going to see more of that happening this year, because, you know, for us, When we have joint operations, joint investigations, mutual legal assistance, it helps from country to country. You know, you see countries cooperating and working together in a more coordinated manner. And then you find out that when we are more coordinated, country to country, the fight against human trafficking becomes more efficient.
She also spoke on the agency's projection for the year.
We're going to record a lot more success. Success in the sense that we are sure that the figures will drop drastically, because we are taking this fight to the grassroots in a very aggressive manner, and everyone would know what human trafficking is. This year as well, we are also going to ensure that the human trafficking will be infused in the primary and secondary school curricula to catch them young. So those in the primary and secondary school will know what human trafficking is. They will be on their guard, and they will be able to take care of themselves and prevent themselves from being trafficked. So, I mean, this year really is going to be a good year. A lot of operations are going to be happening. We're going to be bringing back a lot of irregular migrants, not just from Libya and Italy, but from all over the world. They will be rehabilitated and reintegrated back into the society. The fight against human trafficking is a fight for all of society and all of government. It's not for the federal government, it's not for NAPTIP. It's for everyone in Nigeria. It's a stakeholder. The organized private sector, the corporate organizations, the youth corpers, the community leaders, the assemblymen and women. This fight is for each and every one of us. We have to come together to stamp out human trafficking.
It's only a few months in office with Dame Julie Okadonli at the helm of affairs at NAPTIP. It is clear that passion drives purpose. This indeed heralds a new dawn in the fight against trafficking in persons.
Human trafficking is one of the worst crimes on earth. It is a grave violation of your human rights. The victims of human trafficking are majorly women, youths, children, and men who may never live to tell the story. These victims could be your wife, daughter, mother, sister, brother, child, or relative. No one deserves to be trafficked. NAPTIP has intensified its effort against this crime. But we need your support. We need you to join this fight. Government officials, corporate organizations, traditional rulers, religious leaders, and the organized private sector have enlisted in this fight. What are you waiting for? Join NAPTIP to end this global moral epidemic. Stop human trafficking now.
Report cases of human trafficking to these NAPTIP hotlines: 0703 00 203, 080 02 255 627847. NAPTIP, empowered to protect you.
For more inquiries and support, or to report cases of suspected human trafficking and child abuse, please call NAPTIP hotlines on 0703 0000 203 or 0800 2255 627847, or email info@naptip.gov.ng. Visit our website on www.naptip.gov.ng and follow us on our social media platforms at NAPTIP Nigeria.
With all these efforts and achievements so far, traffickers beware. NAPTIP is poised to exterminate you. Till I come your way, same time next week. Support NAPTIP by reporting suspected cases of human trafficking. I am Emmanuel Okeke, and I must thank you for watching.